So A, it really doesn't do any harm. B, more people are going there than, we might have thought. Heck, more people are going there than are going for podcasts. And C, it's kind of the future where this stuff is going.
You are listening to the Podcast Report with Paul Colligan. Here's Paul.
Should you put your podcast on YouTube? There are many who will go into a deep dive as to why you shouldn't. The fact of the matter is, you should put your podcast anywhere your audience might be. Is my audience on YouTube? Are podcasters listening to content on YouTube? Stay tuned. But before that, the tip of the week. Does your podcast have a because you will? If it doesn't, you need one. Every single episode needs one. And you might even want to keep a spreadsheet of these or a notepad of these. What's a because you will? The because you will is the reason why your avatar wants to listen to that particular episode. See, a lot of us put out content, it's Wednesday, it's time to get a show out, or here's an interesting person. But what's the because you will? On an episode of the Podcast Report, we chatted about YouTube and whether or not you should put your podcast on YouTube. And I want you to listen to that episode because you will understand whether or not you should be putting your podcasts on YouTube. I want you to listen to this episode because you will be able to calculate exactly what it is that you need to do next. I want you to listen to this episode because you will get a deeper understanding of a person who might radically change your life. If you understand the because you will of your episode, and maybe you even write that first, maybe you even put that on your screen as you're recording. If you understand the because you will, the podcast will be a lot better. So the question is, should I put my podcast on YouTube? And there are all sorts of options here that we need to explore. Then we need to explore what the issue is, what the problem is. And then we need to explore the pontificators. And then we'll take a look at, really thinking about this logically, like someone who's truly trying to take advantage of what podcasting has to offer. So the issue is this. A lot of people are on YouTube. We know that. I'll chat about the numbers a little bit later, but it is really easy to put your podcast on YouTube. Hey, Paul, isn't podcasting an audio medium? Isn't YouTube a video medium? Well, yes and no. First of all, you can do video podcasts. And I would definitely say, without a doubt, if you have a video podcast, put that on YouTube as well. But the debate is all in the world of the audio podcast. Now, how could you put an audio podcast on YouTube? Is that even allowed? Yes, it's definitely allowed. You can upload a file with a simple static graphic on it. There are, Libsyn makes it possible for you to automatically publish to YouTube with your default image. There are tools, there are services, there are audiograms. There are all sorts of ways out there for you to put your audio on YouTube. Now, the issue is, should you? And why shouldn't you? Well, the debates are that because it's a picture, people can feel ripped off. Because it's a picture, you're not going to get them to stay as long. Different debates, different thoughts. You can listen out there, but what I want to suggest you do is I want you to think through it intelligently. Now, the pontificators, they love to go, well, it's not the right proper platform and YouTube won't allow it and blah-de-blah-de-blah. That's not the case. What you want to do is you want to think about it logically. Now, I had a client who was publishing his show to YouTube through a consultant. Consultant wasn't even necessarily doing that good of a job. But what was interesting was over 1,000 views of his podcast on YouTube. Now, this was a popular show, but 1,000, nothing to complain about. What was interesting was we went into the stats for his static image with the audio for his show, and his show, which was about the 40-minute length, was actually getting a longer completion, a higher average of completion than other videos in his industry of that time. So he was doing better than he would have been doing if he was his own competitor making a video out of all this. So this is what made me think about it. I have published past episodes of the Podcast Report on YouTube. Some of you got to me through YouTube. The numbers on there are interesting. Not nearly the percentage I've seen elsewhere, but I haven't been doing the optimizing. I haven't been doing some other things. And I'm actually going to be, spoiler alert, I'm for it. And we're going to be taking it a little bit more seriously here. but people will complain that it's not it. I've seen stats that are differently. The arguments are wrong platform. And I don't know. I think it's the nerds who decide what the platforms are. I think it's the listeners. I think it's the consumers who decide what they're going to do with platform. Yes, I thought it was silly to put albums on YouTube. But if you look at the stats, more people are listening to music on YouTube than anywhere else. Wait a minute, Paul. What? Yes. At the Infinite Dial Report, which I chatted about a couple of episodes, 46% of the country in the week previous, 129 million people had gone to YouTube for music or for music videos. Where only 44% of them, 124 million of them, had gone to podcasting. So we have more people, now think about this, we have more people going to YouTube for audio than we have people going to podcasts for audio. And if we have more people going to YouTube for that, then my friends, let's make sure our stuff is on YouTube. But you see, it's not just YouTube, it's the smart speakers. The Google Home is a really powerful smart speaker. Google is doing really well. Truth be told, I think the tech for the Google Home is actually better than the Amazon Alexa. I'm not going to say her name because she's in the room and she'll start chatting at us. But the fact of the matter is, you can, if you have a YouTube Red account, we'll talk about YouTube Red in a second, you can go and play audio from YouTube to your smart speaker. And again, more people are going to YouTube for audio than are going to podcasts for audio. This is important. Don't forget about the smart speakers. Now, also don't forget about YouTube Red. YouTube Red, and we'll put a link to this in the show notes, thepodcastreport.com/146. YouTube Red is their premium version of YouTube, and it gives you a couple of things. It gives you some YouTube Red only type content, and it's not really YouTube Red only because you can also get it on YouTube TV, but it's stuff that the normal public can't see. It's premium content that you have to pay for. They also get rid of all those ads in YouTube. That alone might make it might make it worth it. But the final thing is simply you're able to go to your Google Smart Speaker and play playlists. Will people do this? Well, honestly, yes. And I'll give you one example straight from my life. I'm a big fan of Hall & Oates. I'm not ashamed to say it. I'm not even going to call it a guilty pleasure. I just like the guy. And Daryl Hall has a show called Live from Daryl's House. And it's a show where he brings in people and they cover each other's music and eat great food and talk about the old days. The Smokey Robinson episode is incredible. The CeeLo Green episode, boy, when they cover CeeLo's Forget You, but it's not Forget You, it's good stuff. Daryl knows how to hang out with musicians. Oh, watch the Sammy Hagar one on what might have happened to Van Halen. Fascinating stuff. Anyway, they jam. Great stuff. I would buy the tracks from the show if I could. Daryl, are you listening? I would buy the tracks because I really enjoy them. I enjoy that kind of jam, raw sound. Well, the fact of the matter is many people have made playlists on YouTube of his show. They've gone through this process of editing it out, sourcing it out, putting it up there, and I can go to my Google Home and I can say, play these playlists. So I can actually get the music that I really couldn't get anywhere else through YouTube Red and my smart speaker. More and more that's going to happen. Mashups, it's going to be the only way to get mashups. New music stuff. It's an interesting space and you want to look at it. So A, it really doesn't do any harm. B, more people are going there than, we might have thought. Heck, more people are going there than are going for podcasts. And C, it's kind of the future where this stuff is going, between stuff like YouTube Red, going to your smart speaker, and obviously your television set as well. And these smart speakers, it's a really, really interesting space. So I'm going to start putting all of my stuff up at YouTube. You'll be able to get all of the past. I'm working on a template. We're going to have some fun with this. I'm going to put all the past episodes of the podcast report up, and I'm going to start working with my clients and getting all their past episodes up. I would definitely recommend not a static image alone by itself. I would have some animation. If you look up the term audiogram, there's lots of options out there. There are tools and services that'll do this for you. I'm going to build a custom template so that I don't look like everybody else who is going from the template that everybody else is using. I'm going to get my own custom template. I'm going to do the same for my clients, and we should have a good time. I think I will explore this in the future episodes, the podcast report, or whatever the podcast report looks like in future episodes. But I would love your thoughts and comments on this, thepodcastreport.com/146. If you are doing your show on YouTube, I would like to know. You can put it in the comments and other people can see it. And then if you want to see other shows that are doing it, come by and take a look at the comments. You can obviously go out to social media and all that stuff. But there we go. Simple topic, but I think it's an important one. Don't let those pontificators get in the way of you getting your message out. With that said and done, we'll chat next week. Bye. So, yeah, you'll be seeing a lot more of the podcast report on YouTube. And I think you're going to be seeing a lot more of other podcasts on YouTube. Would love your thoughts. thepodcastreport.com/146. We'll chat next week. Bye. We love the social interaction here at the Podcast Report. Thepodcastreport.com/Facebook, thepodcastreport.com/Twitter, thepodcastreport.com/insert social platform of your choice. We'd love to hear from you. Love to give you the chance to interact with other listeners of the show. Another thing we'd love to have you do is simply subscribe to the show. If you know what that means, great. Head out to the podcatcher of your choice and subscribe to the show. If you don't know what that means, basically all the big programs, iTunes, Google, Stitcher, all of these platforms give you the ability to subscribe to the show like you'd subscribe to a magazine or a newspaper. And then the minute a new episode comes out, it comes to you automatically. It comes to you without worries about spam or that type of thing. You don't have to visit the website. You don't have to go out to these platforms and see if there's something new. It comes to you automatically. Do that by subscribing. Thepodcastreport.com/iTunes, thepodcastreport.com/TuneIn, thepodcastreport.com/Stitcher. You get the idea. Finally, last but not least, we do have an email address. It's thepodcastreport@outlook.com. We'd love to hear from you. Chat with you next week. Bye.